Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving into something that's, let's be honest, a real headache for a lot of UK crypto users. We're talking about tax on DeFi lending, specifically on Aave, and we're going to be using the upcoming 2025 to 2026 tax year rules. Now, this whole breakdown was developed by the absolute experts in this space, pro tax accountant, so you know you're getting the right info. Let's jump in.
So if you're in the UK and you've been using Aave to earn a little yield, you need to listen up. Why? Because your tax bill could be a lot bigger than you're expecting. The way you think it works and the way HMRC says it works are two very different things.
And just so we're clear, all the detail we're about to get into comes directly from the crypto tax specialist over at Pro Tax Accountant. They live and breathe this stuff, and they've helped us lay out exactly what you need to know to stay out of trouble.
Right, so what makes this whole thing so darn complicated? Well, it pretty much all boils down to one single fundamental concept in UK crypto tax law. Once you get your head around this one idea, everything else starts to click into place.
And that concept is disposal. See, HMRC doesn't see your crypto as money. To them, it's an asset, just like a stock or a piece of art. And that means anytime you swap one crypto for another, anytime at all, it's considered a disposal. It's basically the same as selling. This is the tripwire that sets off a whole chain of taxable events you probably never even saw coming.
So let's walk through what actually happens when you use Aave. We'll start right at the beginning, because, and you might not believe this, your first tax event happens the second you lend your crypto. Let's imagine Helen. She's a freelancer in London, she's got some crypto, and she wants to put it to work. So she takes her 10 ETH and deposits it into Aave. What does she get back? The platform gives her a receipt token, 10 aETH, to prove that she has that stake in the pool. Simple, right?
Wrong. In the eyes of HMRC, Helen just made a disposal. She swapped her ETH tokens for a totally different kind of token, aETH. And that right there triggers a capital gains tax event. And this is the part that catches everyone out. Before she's earned a single pound in interest, she has already created a taxable event that she needs to calculate.
Now, for the 2025/26 tax year, everyone in the UK gets a capital gains tax allowance of £3,000. So if Helen's gain on that initial swap is less than $3,000 and she has no other capital gains, she won't actually owe any tax. But any gains over that £3,000 threshold, that's taxable. Okay, so Helen's crypto is now sitting in Aave, doing its thing. The next step is earning those juicy rewards. Now stay with me here because this is the part where most people really get tripped up. How HMRC treats these earnings is probably not what you think. You might assume that the yield you're earning is just adding to the value of your pot, right? Something you'll pay capital gains on way down the line when you sell. But that's not how HMRC sees it. They view those rewards as a payment for a service, the service of you lending your crypto. And because of that, it's taxed as miscellaneous income, and it's taxable the very moment you earn it.
And the record keeping here is intense. It's not a case of just guesstimating at the end of the year. Here's a pro tip from the experts. You have to value your rewards in pounds at the exact moment you receive them, even if that's happening block by block every few seconds. It means you need perfect records of timestamps and market prices for every single reward.
And just like with capital gains, there's an allowance for this. It's the miscellaneous income allowance, which is £1,000 for the tax year. All those little Aave rewards add up, and along with any other income you have that's not from a regular job, they count towards this limit. Go over £1,000 and you have to declare it. Phew! Okay, we've covered depositing and we've covered earning, but the journey isn't over yet. Let's look at the final piece of the puzzle. What happens when you decide it's time to withdraw your crypto from Aave?
So, after a while, Helen decides she wants her funds back. She goes back to Aave, hands over her 10 ETH tokens, and in return, she gets back her original 10 ETH plus all the extra ETH she's earned as yield.
And you guessed it, here we go again. This is another disposal. By swapping her aETH back into ETH, Helen has triggered a second, completely separate capital gains tax event. It's a whole new calculation she has to do. Okay, please pay close attention to this next bit, because getting this calculation right is absolutely essential if you want to avoid paying tax twice. The wrong way, the common mistake, is to just subtract your original cost from the final value. If you do that, you will pay capital gains tax on rewards you've already paid income tax on. The right way is to add the value of all that income you've already declared to your initial cost. This is how you correctly tell HMRC, hey, I've already paid tax on this bit.
It's so crucial to get this right. Now you're probably thinking, this sounds like an absolute nightmare to track. How on earth would HMRC ever figure this all out? Well, let me tell you, their world is about to change in a very big way, which is why getting this sorted for the 2025 tax year is so important. A new system is coming called the Crypto Asset Reporting Framework, or CARF, and starting in January 2026, it's going to force UK-based crypto exchanges and platforms to automatically collect and report all of their users' transaction data directly to HMRC.
The takeaway here is really simple. Total transparency is just around the corner. The days of crypto being in a gray area that was hard for the taxman to track are coming to a very rapid end. This makes the 2025 tax year a really critical time to get your house in order before this fire hose of data gets turned on.
So, that was a lot of information. I know. What does it all mean? Let's boil it down to the key things you absolutely have to remember, straight from the experts at ProTax Accountant.
When you use Aave in the UK, just remember this. There are 3 taxable moments. Number 1, a capital gains event when you lend. Number 2, ongoing income tax on all the rewards you earn. And number 3, a final capital gains event when you withdraw. Each one needs to be tracked, calculated, and reported correctly. And of course, we have to say that this information is for general guidance. It is definitely not financial advice, and you shouldn't rely on it alone to make big decisions. Crypto tax is incredibly complex, and everyone's personal situation is different.
So before you do anything, you really must consult an expert. If you're feeling a bit lost with your Aave transactions or any other crypto tax questions, you can talk to the very people who developed this analysis. You can reach the specialist at ProTax Accountant directly on WhatsApp or by phone at 07985689912, or you can drop them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk.